massive hit. Oh, they've clipped. Off. How he held on to that, I don't know. This is the biggest crash in RGL history. He's out of control and into the wall. Brace yourselves, this is going to be action-packed. Hi and welcome to the 2013 RGL Forza Championships, and here we have the drivers and teams that are participating in this year's championships. This is part 1. We'll start with, in numerical order, Alcimo, the reigning champion for the V8 Supercars. Two times now he has won the series. Rob 360XBX winning the very first season of V8 Supercars in RGL Forza Championships, and he is racing for Nerd Motorsport. He has had 33 starts in his 4 seasons, amassing 4,728 points, which is an awesome effort. Very light on penalties, 12 pole positions. He is super fast and he will have some pretty tough competition this year, so it is going to be interesting to see how he goes in his title defence, and he debuted at the start of 2012. And looking at the livery now, it's a very simple design but effective. Love the www.regionalgamersleague.com logo under the nerd logo itself for the team. So moving on to his partner in crime, Pistol Fit, and this is car number 3, racing the Falcon. And Pistol Fit has been sort of in the mid-pack, a little bit above that in most of the races in the 2 V8 Supercar series, and he's also had the same amount of starts as his teammate, racing for Nerd Motorsport there, although he's been a little bit heavier on with the penalties. That's mainly due to some corner cutting and pit infringements. But he also debuted at the start of 2012 and is looking to be a very strong driver once again, probably even surprising himself with his performance so far in the time trials, which has put him into tier 1. And next up we have Ollie 9394 for Movie Madness Motorsport. They've changed their livery. It's gone from white and green to a red and grey, now to black and silver or black and gold when you see Zulu's car as well, a more simpler design. And Ollie, been around since 2010, one of the most experienced drivers in the field, although it hasn't paid off in as far as success goes, but he gets in there and tries his best. A very clean racer overall, very small amount of penalty points versus the amount of career points he's earned there in 7,494. 77 starts, 8 seasons or series, and 1 pole position, which a lot of drivers can't lay claim to, so look forward to seeing how he goes in tier 2. Next up we have a debutant in the Doc 06, and he will be racing with MRN Drifter for Midnight Racing, and his car is number 6. Will be fitting his gamer tag, and his debut is this year as mentioned, and we have quite a few debutants coming up for you. And the livery design was done by Drifter, very similar, both cars, just a few changes with gamer tag. And we'll wait and see how he goes. He's qualified for tier 2, and wait and see what 2013 has in store for the quiet driver that he is. Next up we have Rob 360XBX for Aztec Motorsport, and he has been around since 2010, another one of the experienced campaigners. and he has won a couple of series, the V8 Supercars, and come runner-up in the GT series and also the Mini Cooper Challenge to Eskimo Sammy Joe. But still, he's had 8,709 points, which is pretty massive considering he didn't race in the last half of 2012. Generally a very clean racer, also managed to find himself in some of the more unfortunate situations. He's got 4 pole positions and a former V8 Supercar Series Championship winner. And we will wait and see what this year unfolds for him. He will be in Tier 2. Next up for Movie Madness Motorsport is Zulu, who has been around since the very beginning for obvious reasons. And he's raced in every single race so far in the RGL Forza Championships with 81 starts. Accumulated the most career points, though he has obviously had the most opportunity to do so. Averaged that out, and he isn't the most successful driver. He's had a steady decline over the years, but he'll be racing out of Tier 2. He's had only 63 penalty points, so a very clean driver, stays out of trouble. He's also managed to rack up 4 pole positions, most of those coming in 2010 and early on in 2011. And we'll wait and see if he can place a little bit better compared to the last couple of seasons. Next up is JakeMo98, racing for Dude 67 Race Shop. He came into the RGL Forza Championships at the end of 2012, and he notched up 6 race starts and a couple of penalty points there, debuting obviously as mentioned 2012. So racing the Mazda Masters and shows some pace, so it'll be interesting to see what he can produce out of this year going in Tier 1. And as he said, he's a bit of a fan of Paul Morris and Craig Lowndes, and that's his driving style, though we haven't seen too many incidents caused by him during those championship races late in 2012. Next up we have Scavenger for Screwdrivers Racing and Point 8 Studios, and he will be driving car 17. And Scavenger had debuted in close to the middle of 2012. He got a couple of races in there for the V8 Supercars Season 2 and at that time the RS200s, and he's had 14 race starts in total, completing V8 Supercars Series 3 and Mazda Masters at the end of last year. Only 25 penalty points, which shows he's a very clean racer. Tries to keep his nose out of trouble, and his best place is a second in the Mazda Masters. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in Tier 1. Qualified 9th overall. Next up is FCR Ninja, who's racing for HD Motorsport, car number 18, alongside Beshi 642. And this is his debut year, although he did race a few rounds in the end of 2012. That was as a guest driver. He's very quick. He's very quick, as proven with some of the qualifying and some of the lap times he's been getting, and just needs to deliver that in a full race and put that all together to notch up a couple of wins this year. But he's more than capable. He's also raced at the V8GL League, which is a separate Forza league, and he is a fairly clean driver. Next up is you watching for APRT, or Australian Precision Racing Team, for the Victorian section of the operation. The other half is Queensland, and we'll introduce you to those drivers a bit later on. But you're watching 2 seasons, debuting at the last half of 2012, 10 race starts and 1173 points, only 5 penalty points, which shows he is a very clean racer, likes to give drivers room and make sure his passing is clean, which is great to see. He qualified very highly into Tier 1, and he's also managed to get a pole position out of those 10 race starts, which is fantastic effort. And sporting a gold and silver black type livery. Next is Eskimo Sammy Joe for SYB Racing, or Start Your Bastard Racing, and keeping with the traditional fluoro green and black with just a slightly different design compared to the previous 2 seasons. Eskimo debuted in 2011 and has 55 starts to his name and racked up quite a lot of points. He is the former champion for the GT3 series and also the Mini Cooper Challenge, and since then has found some pretty tough opposition and also been unfortunate in a few incidents as well, which has caused his seasons to somewhat derail of late, but hopefully he'll have a nice clear season ahead with not too many hiccups. And his car number there, 22. Looking forward to seeing how well he can perform. Car 23 is Blogsy 360 for SYB Racing, Eskimo's teammate. Again, he has quite a lot of skill, but just trying to put that all together into a consistent season is one of the hardest things for Blogsy at the moment. He's had 56 race starts and 7 seasons to his name, debuting in 2011. 3 pole positions, and in earlier times he's had a lot more success, winning one of the GT races and also racking up 4 wins throughout some of the support series that we've been running in the RGL Forza Championships. He qualified a little bit slower in Tier 2. Moving on, we have No Recoil for Taztec Motorsport, car number 25, and he is also making his debut for 2013 in the RGL Forza Championships, although he is a seasoned campaigner on Oz FM, and he is a very, very detailed livery, very polished look to the vehicle, and he's qualified in Tier 1, very fast driver, so it'll be interesting to see who's battling who for first, second and third in a lot of these Tier 1 races across V8 Supercars and the development series. Next we have another debutant in Mr. Cat 4, although he has been hanging around since the start of 2012 but been unfortunate to manage a connection in lobbies, which has caused him to miss out on the full series across 2012. So finally making some inroads there. He qualified in the time trials for Tier 2, and he is looking forward to finally getting a few races in the RGL Forza Championships. And last but not least for this part of the teams and drivers video is Emma Drifter, who is also a debutant for 2013, and he's racing in car 37 for Midnight Racing, and again another very different design. Got a lot of good original designs coming through, a lot of variation in the look of the cars, and he'll be starting in Tier 2, qualifying pretty quickly for that group of drivers. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for part 2 of Drivers and Teams.